I don't even know what to do here. There's nothing funny about this game, unless I want to make a refs joke, but made too many of those already. I can't even make fun of another rival team for blowing it. Habs won, Leafs won, shit, even the Blues won.
Well, I lost.
Obviously. Oh well.
Oh boy. No one's gonna be happy in the comments, and then I'm not gonna be happy in the comments. It's gonna bum me out. It's supposed to be fun. That was not fun. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. Not a dub. No, not a dub. You're probably feeling feelings. You're probably feeling a lot of feelings. None of them are positive feelings. And they're also not helpful feelings. It's entertainment. These are supposed to entertain. Vincent Trocheck is a diver. We already knew this, but that's the first thing I want to say about this game. The dude dives. I stopped watching football, years ago. Super into it. I was super into it. I loved Serie A soccer, the Italian league. Diego Milito was my favorite player. And then one day, I watched him dive. Take an obvious dive. Like a blatant, I'm not going to reach the ball. The guy's nowhere near me, didn't even touch me. Dive. And I stopped watching soccer. Because my favorite player was an asshole. I don't like diving in hockey. And I know it happens, but it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Let's talk about this Rangers team for a second. Let's talk about them. Last time we played them, it was a crazy late November game that ended 7-4. And it was just one of those games, right? Saves weren't being made. It didn't feel like anyone could cover anybody. Just a bad game. Just a bad game. They are considered by most to be the best team in the East, and their record shows that as well. They are elite on the power play, second in the league there. They have a top 10 penalty kill, which really crushed us in this one. Our power plays, we had so many opportunities to really put a stranglehold in this game, and didn't. And we don't even have a terrible power play. It's middling, but it's bummer. They are ranked 12th in goals for and 9th in goals against. So they're really strong, or at least top third of the league, defensively and offensively. And Shesterkin isn't even at his best form. He continues to struggle with a .902 save percentage. He'd have a much better one in this game because everyone gets their best game against the Bruins. He's had 17 games played. Jonathan Quick actually has been the better guy. We basically did this with the Islanders, where the starter actually doesn't have the better numbers. But he has a ridiculous .926 in 11 games played. We would not play Quick, though, so I don't know why I'm bringing that up. The Rangers are a pretty intimidating team, especially when you look only at their top six and their defense, and of course their goaltending. But their defense is really great. And their top six is debatably one of the best in the league. I think you could pretty easily make that argument. They are missing Kakko and Hedl right now, so they're going to be a little weaker down at the bottom six, but hey, we're missing some of our big dogs, so kind of all evens out, right? Okay, I'm trying not to be angry. I don't want to be angry. We did a fun little thing before the game, the lunch pail era. It was the lunch pail era night. Omar made a great mask for it. Didn't get to use it because he didn't play. Bummer, dude. But that's the late 70s Bruins, basically. They had a lot of the players come out, kind of do the wave. Milbury had a shoe with him, which was really funny. That team was full of, I don't want to play against that guy, guys. Just a lot of them. They weren't a championship team, but they weren't comfortable to play against. They're unpleasant, which is, a point of pride for Boston. Our lines tonight, Heinen, Geeky, Pasta. We're going to talk about pasta. Martian, Coyle, DeBrusque, JVR, Patra, Freddie, Brown, Beecher, Steen, Lindholm, Wotherspoon, Grizz, Carlo, Lorai, Shaddy, and Swayman gets the start. Still no McAvoy, still no Zaka, still no Forborn. And I know a lot of people are still upset that we're not calling up different guys other than Brown, Boquist, who got 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes the other night. Again, if it was a longer injury time, I think we'd see those younger guys. I don't think they want to bother bringing them up for 1 or 2 games. I think they're looking for a longer trial for those guys. Either way, Wotherspoon actually had another pretty solid effort. I'm going to throw that out now. I'm not going to do the big ramble before the game this time. Now I'm just going to go piece by piece, and we'll get to the things when we get to the things. Like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. Thank you again to the YouTube membership program peoples. Really got to name that. Puck drops! In the first period, pretty uneventful, which you take on the second night of a back-to-back against the top team in the East, right? Or debatably the top team in the East. But we do have a couple little things that happen. 7 minutes in, a rush for the Bruins ends in a pasta shot that gets kicked to the corner. The play goes back the other way, and I have no clue why Carlo is standing 4 feet deep into the neutral zone as Panarin stands right behind him on the blue line. But it basically gives up a Panarin breakaway, which Swayman makes the save on. Swayman was awesome this game, the whole game. He was fantastic. 3:46 left. Grizz is going to go for tripping. We're going to go to the penalty kill. We kill it. Our penalty kill was solid too. We gave up a couple though. We'll give up one. Give up one though. 40 seconds left. Martian is tripped by Miller. We're going to go to the power play. It's a bad power play. It's a bad power play. And we're starting second in the power play with 1:20 of it. Don't do anything with it. It's not a good power play. And then 2:07 in. It's a weird parallel play by all 3 forwards as they cross the blue line. They're all completely in sync, which doesn't give a lot of... It kind of makes it easier for the defense to just, be in the gaps there. But it ends up working out because Patra is going to feed JVR on the right side. He's going to skate down deep, fling it into the slot. It goes off Patra's skate, who's kind of skating through the goal line next to the net, and then to Freddie. Hits off Freddie's skate into Shishjurkin. That name, it gets me. Bounces back to Freddie. Freddie's going to take it and flick it by the stick. Chesty still almost pokes us away. Like, that close to it. They are going to challenge for goaltender interference. I have no idea why. I know Freddie's in the blue paint, and maybe you're waiting for the refs to fumble the bag with that one, but there's no contact anywhere. It just doesn't... I don't know. They failed that challenge. It's 1-0. We're going back to the power play. Talk about a power play you want to take advantage of, because they just failed a stupid challenge. You just scored a goal. You go up 2 here, it's a whole different ballgame. And what we saw was one of the worst power plays of the season. Couldn't even get into the zone. Horrendous. We won't score on it. 9:40 left. Pasta's going to go for high sticking. It's a fun little quirk. Lafreniere actually took Pasta's stick and hit himself in the face with it. Pulled it up. Head snaps back. They're going to call it. I think Lafreniere didn't realize he was doing it. I think it's a bad call. It's fine. Just a fun little... mistakes happen. Refs, it happens. We're going to kill it. Because 16 seconds into it, Kreider is going to go for holding. And this was a blatant holding. Brick was praising it because it was clever, which I get. But he literally just holds Coyle for a second to prevent him getting from a puck and was just hoping the refs wouldn't notice. That's where we are at, by the way. Is you can pretty much do stuff and just hope the ref fucks it up. And 50% of the time, you're probably in the clear. Bad. Either way, we're going to go 4-on-4. 20 seconds later, Gustafsson gives us all a scare by just getting solid contact on Patra, who, this is a nothing hit. He shoves him down. But Patra just lands weird, goes right down the tunnel holding his arm. Luckily, he would return. That was a big scare for us, though, as our center position is already pretty weak. The ensuing face-off, Freddie is going to fight Trouba, presumably not for what Gustafsson did to Patra, but more so about Trouba hitting him in the head with a stick the last game. Something you probably remember. Either way, it was 2 swings, and then Trouba loses his footing, and Freddie kind of falls on top of him. I thought they would do a rematch of that. They did not. That was it. That was the whole fight. We're just going to move on. They're going to sit in the box for a couple minutes and come back out. 7:02 left. Heinen for slashing. It was a call. We kill it. 1:50 left. Pasta. This is probably why I'm going to get the most angry comments. He lays a big hit on Lindgren, who stays down. When he gets up, his forehead's bleeding. When you watch the replay, even in live time, it looked like a bad hit. I can see what Pasta's going for. He's expecting Lindgren to collect the puck and keep moving. A normal hockey play. But Lindgren Doesn't. He gets the puck and he stops. And so Pasta gets him on the left shoulder, but also towards the middle, and drives him right into the boards. It's a bad hit. And I know there's a couple arguments against it. The first one being, well, if he played the puck like a normal human being, Lindgren wouldn't have died. He didn't die. He played the rest of the game. Everything's fine. I'm being ghoulish overkill. You're right, but the rulebook's very clear about it being the hitter's job to make sure that they're not laying a dangerous hit. And I agree with that wording of that rule, and I agree that this was a bad hit. Yes, he wasn't expecting what he got. You still have to be prepared, right? Brick said it best. The league is expecting a bear hug at that positioning in that kind of play. The other argument that you're going to have is, hey, what about and list any hit that Trouba has made all season? Or, just to keep it Rangers-centric, or really, you have a ton of plays you could choose from. The Cousins hit, that Gudbranson ended up getting suspended for, but Cousins didn't. All that kind of stuff. You're not wrong. But in a vacuum, this hit was bad. I don't want to see this hit. So as much as they got other calls wrong about this, and they're inconsistent and they suck at their jobs, which I'm right there with you. This is a bad hit. And you know how I can really tell? Is if that was Marchand and Trouba came at him and hit him in the exact same way and got up with a bleeding head. If that wasn't the end of Trouba's night, we'd be losing our minds. Pasta laid a dangerous hit. He didn't mean to, but he did. A 5-minute major and the rest of the game, totally fine with it. I am fine with it. We'll talk about the potential for a suspension, but actually I'm just going to say it now. I don't think because he got kicked out for the rest of the game and because Lindgren came back to the game, no further injury, that should be it. Maybe a fine, but certainly, I don't think this is going to have a suspension coming with it. It has been 7 years since the last time Pastrnak was suspended. I think we're good there. Hopefully, but we'll see what happens. Either way, Panarin's also going to go for roughing because after this, there was a scrum. I thought that was bullshit. I have no idea why Panarin got called for something there for trying to, stick up for the guy who just had his head put through a windshield, It's going to be 2-on-2. Oh, sorry, 2-on-2. It's going to be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and then we'll have a 3-minute penalty kill, which we'll basically start the third with, and we kill it. Sway coming in huge for this one. And then 5:42 in, Marchand is tripped by Fox. We're going to the power play. It is another horrendous power play. Although Marchand does draw another call like 20 seconds into it, but they don't call it because they didn't want to put the Rangers 5-on-3. You know those calls. It happens all the time where they're just like, it has to be super, super, super blatant for me to do that. These refs, man. Either way, it's a terrible power play. It's awful. And then 9:23 left. Trocheck dives. I refuse to make an argument about this. It's so clearly obvious to me. Carlos skates over, tries to move him out from in front of the net, which what is a defenseman supposed to do at this point? But Trocheck just dives. Takes some contact to the back, boom, head first. And then he's going to get rewarded because the power play starts and they're going to move the puck around a little bit. It's going to be Fox. He's going to send it down to the bumper position. And in that bumper position, I believe it's Zibanejad, who's just standing to the right of Swayman. And he's going to wait because it's actually Trocheck who's going to scoot his way into the high slot. And there's a lane there, and Coyle just doesn't see him in time. Perfect pass, shot, blocker side. It's 1-1. Power play goal. Brutal. It sucks. If it happened during the 5-minute major or something like that, I would have been just way more reasonable about this. But Trocheck just got rewarded for diving. He did. And then just to add a little more fun to it, 7:13 left. Lindholm gets called because Fox takes his stick and pulls it into his mouth. That really highlighted it for me. That really brought it all home. I mean, watch the replays. If you think I'm being biased, watch the replay of the call. It was so bad. We're going to go to the penalty kill. We kill it. We clutch up and kill it. Swayman kills it. And we're going to overtime. The Rangers hold the puck basically the whole time. I'm not bitter about them winning in overtime. I'm bitter about a bunch of stuff. they'll eventually win it because Trocheck gets lost behind the defenseman. He's standing to the right once again of Swayman, and Panarin's able to find him basically from the blue line for the redirect in blocker side. Great. It's 2-1. Game's over. They won. Fuck them. They won. The reason they still had possession at this time, and look, this happened like 40 seconds before the goal, so let's not harp on it too much, is because the ref wasn't paying attention, and when we stripped one of the Rangers from the puck, it bounced towards the corner, and if it kept moving, we were going to be the first ones there by a mile, but the ref wasn't looking, and it went right off his skate and just stayed in his feet until the Rangers got there. Obviously not intentional, but it really was just a great highlight. It was just a great highlight of how this game went. You're going to have games like this. It's frustrating, but it's going to happen where the refs just fuck you. That being said, we had 4 power play chances. I think, actually, really only 3 power play chances, if I remember correctly, because one of them was like 16 seconds long. And we did jack shit with them. Jack shit. We scored 1 goal. Let's not act like the refs calling us for this stuff just took the game completely out of our hands. We scored 1 goal. Not good enough. Not good enough. It just sucks that there's all this extra stuff that makes you more frustrated about it. But the game notes are actually kind of nice. Bork in the second period was super fun. Talking about different stuff, just hearing his stories. I kind of forget that Bork ever fought. He said he had like 20-something fights in his career. I kind of really just forget about most of those. But, and he talked about being on that team and all the tough guys on that team. And he was looking around just going, eventually I got to show these guys that I can do it. And he broke his jaw when he fought. So that was a fun part. Patra, almost being injured, was terrifying. But Patra also played the last shift of the third period before we went to overtime. Trust is building. That's huge. That's huge. There's a plan in place. Pasta, the potential sussy. I just don't think there should be one for this one. I think the rest of that game was enough. I genuinely do. I don't think that's me being biased. I think a lot of you will actually think I'm doing the opposite and I'm being too harsh about it. But I think the game and the 5-minute was correct for that. Last game note. Don't let this ruin your weekend. This is supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be entertainment. We got a point out of it. We got 3 points out of 4 on a back-to-back against the Islanders and the Rangers, who are the top 2 teams in the Metro right now, I think. That's fine. That's fine. You don't love everything that's going on with this team right now. There is some concerns in certain areas. Those concerns, some of them are answered by the fact that we're missing our 1C and our top defenseman. And for half a game, our, superstar goal scorer. But some of them are also, hey, we knew this team was going to be weak in areas. The team is built from the net out. They're kind of playing like it. Is what it is. We're going to focus on how they can improve it, but I don't like those people just taking pot shots at them because, if they're not built well enough for this or that. What were we supposed to do this year? We didn't know Patra existed, by the way. Like, we obviously knew he existed. We didn't know he was going to play for this team. No one knew he was going to play for this team. This was supposed to be a year where we were supposed to be severely lacking at the center position. And we spent some money trying to fill that and get couple wings in here that were potentially going to be flips at the deadline. Even if we were kind of teetering in that wild card spot, if JVR was doing really well, there was a real chance that he was still going to get moved. Like, there was conversations about, hey, we need to have assets to recoup assets. Now, obviously, they didn't want to do that, but it was part of the plan. This team came into the season knowing it wasn't going to be a juggernaut offensively. Let's not just shit all over them for it. They filled what they could after going all in the year before. It's just how it goes. All right, guys, it does it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. I feel all right. I feel better now. Thank you for letting me get all that out. I appreciate you guys quite a bit. Go Bees. Go Bees! Thank you for watching, but of course, we've got to give a shout out to the low-quality YouTube channel members. Need a real name for that one of these days. Starting with the top line tier, the Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Just Aaron, Darren Woodbury, Micro Sausage, Brett Arney, Pincent, Justin Barnard, and Nick Zatrullo. You guys are studs. And then we have our Stallions, Abraxion, Hailey E. Coyote, Joel, Jacob Pratt, Jason Ozzy Bruin Connolly, Tupton Detashi, Jonathan Harvey, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. Absolute legends. Thank you guys so much for your support, and go Bees.